everyone who's enjoying Festival from Home this year. My name is, of course, Mark Crenshaw, for those of you who don't know. And when you come down to the Scandinavian Festival most times, you'll see me wearing this costume, and I like to go by Row-shag the Viking.
Row-shag, we brought you here today hoping you might tell us some stories.
Scandinavian stories. Those can be pretty tough. As you know, people think of the Scandinavian stories as being dry, maybe from the dark sense of humor that those people developed from leading the hard lives that they had. But I'll take your challenge. Just pull up a stool there and we'll see what kind of yarn we can spin from these lips laced with coarse hair, hardened by frost and faded by the sun. What comes to mind first is a story that might challenge what you learned in your elementary history school lessons about who were the first people here in America. And this particular story, we're actually going to talk about the true Scandinavian heritage of Junction City. Let me see what I can find. Rodsjkegg was a very young Viking who had quested many times under Leif Erikson, the first person to discover North America. One summer, when the weather was unusually hot, the ice above Greenland had opened very wide, and it called to the adventuresome young red-bearded lad who had just been given his first command. Further west now than any of the most fearless, dredged his crew. Many days into the voyage, some of the crew that were far more experienced sailors than Rodsjkegg warned that this quest was impossible. But his resolve was unshaken, and they all agreed the trip itself rated the highest honor. It was unacceptable to the young commander to bring back a tale that all was found would be a vast whiteness. The day that he truly earned the respect of his naysaying brethren was a result of a harsh Arctic blast that dropped the temperature more than 40 degrees. The ice closed around the boat and froze it so fast that the men could not pull it free. Amidst the barrage of "I told you so's" and the woeful cries of doom, the crew took notice that their captain was nowhere to be found. Worsening were the accusations of abandonment, lathering into a fury of mutinous rage when one of them spotted a glimpse of movement on the horizon. Closer came the hazy image of white and black, and the obvious color of Rodsjkegg's red beard riding high. The men dropped their jaws in disbelief to see their leader ride up to the boat on the largest polar bear they had ever seen. Along with two others towed behind, Rodsjkegg quickly lashed the beast to the bow line and ordered all to pull. Soon the boat was free and skating upon the ice so fast with the bears pulling forward. The men all hung on for their lives as they dare not be left behind in this frozen wilderness. Finally, after miles of this terrifying race, Rodsjkegg rode high on the bow, breast to the wind. The bears led the boat crashing into the water, where the ice had opened up again. A fire was built on the deck, and the men dried out, and soon they sailed further west. The gleeful emotions of the men had hardly settled when at last the ice widened further. The whiteness turned from gray to black, and the presence of solid land, however harsh, was looked upon fondly as evidence that they had survived the very worst of the ordeal. Then blue again was the water, and the curve of the land turned south, and down the coast the mighty ship cruised with the wind at its back. Before summer's end, when the leaves still showed emerald, the wind changed again, and the captain chose this wide-mouthed bay to enter this new land of wonder. It was easy-flowing water, and the men needed very little of their might to row. In that day, the river just to the east of here, which is once again named for some undeserving Frenchman, flowed right over there against the natural break that the railroads smartly put their tracks upon. The natives looked on the ship like no other they had ever seen, brazened with proud men, and the ship came to rest on a sandy bar. Onto this land held sacred came a fair-skinned, red-bearded man who planted his flag right here on this very spot.